So we shall now continue the discussion on the differential equation, which is the crux of this entire subject, and many other subjects which are going to come. At the initial stage we started development of differential equation and solved them, and we have found that the solution of differential equation, which we started with the circuit for this, is not so easy. So it is V in T and VOT. So the differential equation what we get was like this: dVOT upon dt plus VOT is equal to V in T, and its solution is in fact very complex, and maybe in the first year mathematics you might have solved this differential equation, and its solution is of the type, it is called as convolution integral. VOT is equal to integration of V in, we give one other variable u, and for this particular circuit, when this is 1 and 1, it is e raised to minus into bracket t minus u du from 0 to t. This is the solution. This is called as convolution integral, which you must have gone through in mathematics. In fact, actually, to be very precise, this must have been there in standard 12th also, but the convolution is something which is not so clearly and easily understood. In fact, this is having two functions that we apply input, that is very clear, V. This is system, we apply input and we obtain output. V in T, we obtain VOT, and then the system is having some kind of property, and that is one system function. So for this particular thing, for this particular circuit, one and one, system function is e raised to minus t, that is called as ht. This is ht. So what is the output? Output depends on input and ht, but not like product. The convolution itself is very significant process which is resembling with your upbringing. Whatever you are today is not because of something which you are listening now. Whatever you are today because of something which you listened yesterday, which you listened day back, which you listened 10 years back, like that. And you are carrying the impact of that. So it is called as convolution integral. So if I am having an input which is like this is the input, then the function for this, which is e raised to t ut, why ut? Because it doesn't exist before t equal to 0. This is ht versus t. ht is e raised to minus t ut. So in single sentence I describe what it is, and I am sure that the sentence is so simple that everybody will understand. What is ht? Or ht is the system time domain transfer function, and the output of the system is the input to the system convolved with the time domain transfer function. So what is done is, what is convolution process? This ht is like this, it is to be mirror imaged. It is to be mirror imaged like this, and then it is to be taken on a sliding window, and this window will move. This window will move. So at some point this window will be like this. So if you want to find output at this point, then output at this point will be, because of the input received now, earlier instant, earlier instant, earlier instant, earlier instant, till infinity. So before that is input is 0, we can presume. Then in which manner? In fact, the output is the weighted sum of all previous inputs, and since it is continuous sum, it is integration of area under the curve. So this in black is input V in T, and this blue is sliding HT. So it slides like this. So at this particular time T, it has slided up to this. So multiplication of the input and the HT mirror image here is to be done, and area under the curve till here, because previous to that we have presumed 0, area under the multiplication curve of this input and mirror image HT is current output T. So current output is weighted sum of, this is convolution integral, V in U e raised to minus, if you might have learned in 12th itself, but not to that extent. If f1t and f2t are two functions, then the convolution function is f1u f2 of t minus u du from 0 to t. So f1t is, here is v. So in a system there are two things. First is input function, input, and second is system property. So input signal and system property. So input signal is having real values in time, and system property, it is a property of the system. This is time domain transformation HT is, it is the proportion with which the inputs which occurred t time ago are contributing in determining the current output. मराठी सांगतो. HT म्हणजे काय, तर t इतक्या वेळापूर्वी आलेल्या इनपुटचं सध्याच्या आउटपुट डिटरमाइन करण्यामध्ये किती लेवलचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन आहे. सो इफ HT is very sharp like this, if HT is very sharp like this, in that case it is when it mirror images and rotate slides, the earlier inputs will have very negligible contribution. So as the HT is sluggish, previous inputs have more contribution. As HT is sharp, previous inputs have less contribution. So this is the convolution integral, but we find that this convolution integral is not so simple to deal with. Therefore, in finding out various ways with which the differential equations can be dealt in a simpler manner, few centuries back one transform was devised that is called as Laplace transform. So what is transform actually? We do not have luxury of huge time to discuss everything in detail. Anyway, that is also there in the second semester in other subjects, so that time we will deal this Laplace transform in very much detail. But right now, what is transform? One function of one variable is used to map into another function of another variable, and only thing is that when suppose that I have got one, we take let us say that I have got one function f of x, then this f of x where x is an independent variable and fx is its function, then this f of x is transformed into some other function of y. So f of y is found out from f of x. How? To find it out, actually this transform itself is a very detailed subject. Right now we don't touch into all those aspects. What is done is that x is independent variable, it can have all values. Let us restrict from 0 to infinity. Let us restrict from 0 to infinity. So at every value of x there is some fx. Then all values of fx are taken into consideration. That is multiplied by some other function of g, which is a joint function of x and y together, and it is integrated from 0 to infinity. Listen very carefully. F, or to be very precise, fx is given function, fy is its transform. How transform is computed? Transform is computed. In computing transform, we compute, this is fx original function, which we multiply by another function, which is a joint function of x and y, and this entire product we consider for all range of x, we compute area under the curve. So listen very carefully. The transform fy is area under the curve obtained by multiplication of original function fx and other function g, which is a function of x and y together. So where y acts a parameter, means you can compute you can have one value of y, for that fy will come. If you change value of y as different, same fx will give you different values. So fx versus x, or we can have like this, x versus fx is mapped into another function y versus fy in a holistic manner. What is important is holistic manner, means what we do, how fy is computed, every fy contains all information of fx for all x. So what is fy? Fy is area under the curve fx into g, where g is called as a weight function, which consists of y, which is a parameter, and depending upon y we get different fy. So like that, in case of Laplace transform, actually this transform itself is a very wide area of research in mathematics. We will be exploring it in detail in the next semester. In fact, you would be asked to check the possibility whether you can find your own transform, which is not at all impossible. So in case of Laplace transform, we have a function ft that we transform into another function f of s, where f of s, the Laplace transform of given function, is equal to integration from 0 to infinity f of t into what the product should, what the multiplier should be. It should be a joint function of t and s. So it is e raised to minus st dt. E raised to minus st dt, where what is e raised to minus st? E raised to minus st is e raised to minus into brackets sigma plus j omega t, where s is a complex number. S can be a complex number. It can have any value in given plane. So this is definition of Laplace transform. And so I will we will compute Laplace transform for few functions, and then we will use some important properties of Laplace transform. So I write the Laplace transform in the left hand corner. Definition: f of s is equal to integration of 0 to infinity f of t e raised to minus st dt. You can get any, the teaching is simpler in today's world because you can have Google search and find out the Laplace transform of various functions. We will discuss some functions. Let ft be equal to ut. What is ut? Ut is a function which is equal to 1 from t greater than or equal to 0 and is equal to 0 for t less than 0. So we can very easily compute what will happen. Fs would be 0 to infinity, ft is 1 into e raised to minus st dt. So what this would be? What is integration of e raised to minus st? It is e raised to minus st upon minus s from 0 to infinity. E raised to st upon minus s from 0 to infinity. Now there is a very simple condition. So what this would be? This would be e raised, I will take all steps and not skip any step, e raised to minus s into infinity minus, I am very specific, minus s into 0 upon minus s. So what that would be now? That would be upon minus s, this would be 1, e raised to 0 is 1, and what this is? E raised to minus s into infinity, this will be 0 if, when it will be 0, minus s. What is minus s? It is minus into bracket sigma plus j omega. If this e raised to minus something, minus infinity is 0. But e raised to infinity is infinity, right? So this would be 0, this would be 0 if this s real part is positive. So this will be 0 minus 1 upon minus s, that is equal to 1 upon s. So f of s will be 1 upon s, not always, provided that real part of s is greater than 0. This is called as region of convergence. That is, the transform equation converges to a given. So this f of s is 1 upon s. Then similarly, suppose if we can compute for next, ft is e raised to at, what that transform would be. Again, we can apply very simple logic. E raised to at ut. Most actually this ut always you consider because we don't consider values before 0. So it is e raised to at ut. So 0 to infinity e raised to at, since it is on from 0 only, this ut is 1. So e raised to at e raised to minus st dt, that is equal to 0 to infinity e raised to a minus st dt, that integration is e raised to a minus s into infinity minus e raised to a minus s into 0 upon a minus s. So that is equal to 0 minus 1 upon a minus s, that is equal to 1 upon s minus a, 1 upon s minus a, provided that this a minus s, provided that this a minus s, that is real part of minus s, a, that is important, real part of minus s is greater than 0. Provided that a minus real part minus s should be less than 0. What we should have, that this should be negative. So if this is negative, then this will e raised to negative infinity will become 0. If this is not 0, it will not exist. So a minus real part of s must be 0. So what we get here is real part of s. The real part of s must be greater than a. So its Laplace transform f of t is equal to 1 minus s, 1 upon s minus a, real part of s greater than a. So now we will find out Laplace transform of our interest is e raised to minus t ut. That is the transfer function of simple RC circuit. What that is? Here a is minus 1. So Laplace transform f of s is equal to 1 upon 1 minus a, 1 minus 1. That is 1 upon s plus 1, 1 upon s plus 1, and the real part of s must be greater than minus 1. So for s, this is 0. For s in this range, the transform converges. This is 1 upon s plus 1. Now we will take one more thing which is very important, and there is one function. I will give you one function, a rectangular pulse. I will give you a rectangular pulse whose base is b and height is 1 upon b. Whose base is b and height is 1 upon b. Then find out the Laplace transform of this rectangular pulse. So how that would be? Again very simple. This is ft. Ft is this. So fs is equal to integration of 0. Now there is no point in integrating 0 to infinity because it is ending at b, after it is 0. So between 0 to 1 upon b, it is between 0 to b, it is between 0 to b, it is 1 upon b e raised to minus st dt. E raised to minus st dt. So what that would be? One upon b will come out. Integration 0 to b e raised to minus st dt. So that would be 1 upon b integration of e raised to minus st s into b minus e raised to minus s into 0 upon minus s. Is it right? So what that would be, this is 1, it's very interesting, 1 upon b into e raised to minus sb minus 1 upon minus s. E raised to minus sb minus, as simple as that, 0 to infinity, after that it is, since the function is 0, it is 0 to b, value is 1 upon b, e raised to minus st dt, 1 upon b comes out, 0 to b, e raised to minus st dt, 1 upon b is here, e raised to integration of this, I will write one more step, 1 upon b into bracket e raised to minus st upon minus s from 0 to b, from 0 to b. So that would be e raised to minus sb minus 1 upon minus s. So this is 1 upon b e raised to minus sb minus 1 upon minus s. So what that would be? What that would be? And the thing which is right now, it is not so, when b is having some fixed value, it is not so important. If I now decide I will make b half, height will double. Right? What is the area of this? Area of this is 1. If I will make b half, height will become double. So if I reduce further b, height will become double. So what I want is, I would like to squeeze this such that a pulse of area 1, a pulse of area 1, a narrow pulse, I can start from any value, a narrow pulse of area 1 is continuously squeezed such that whose base width increases and height proportional, so base width decreases and height proportionally increases. That is called as an impulse of area 1. It is called as delta t. So what is delta t? Delta t is infinite at t equal to 0 and 0 elsewhere. This is called as an impulse function. This is called as an impulse function or Dirac delta function. Maybe in some mathematics you must have gone through it, but its significance is, I give you a very simple example. Suppose if that there is some fight going on, and what you decide to press cheek of your friend in some kind of quarrel with some force for some time. So what do? You press his cheek for some time with some pressure. Some time with some pressure. And then what you decide? You decide to reduce the time and increase the pressure. What is its extreme limit? You just slap him. When you slap him, for how much time your hand touches his cheek? Negligible, 0. But with how much force? Infinite force, that way. So what is an impulse? An impulse is there for very small time with very large value. So as b tends to 0, what will happen? You can, as b tends to 0, you can have this one, e raised to minus sb upon e raised to minus sb minus 1 upon minus s. So it would be, we can have 1 minus e raised to minus sb upon s. What will happen? Limit as b tends to 0. Limit as b tends to 0, what would be e raised to minus sb upon s, and you will find that this limit will reduce to b. This limit will reduce to b, and in that case this would be entire function will reduce to 1. So Laplace transform so anybody having doubt about this? This can be good homework for you if you want to evaluate this, but right now there is no need, that much need, so we can have simply Laplace transform of delta t is 1. Laplace transform of ut is 1 upon s. Laplace transform of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. And there are some regions of convergence. With this you can find Laplace transform. To be very precise, we work with e raised to t ut. Similarly, you can find Laplace transform of sin omega t ut. How can you find that? Sin omega t you can consider as e raised to minus e raised to j omega t, or before sin it is better to find cos omega t. Cos omega t ut. Cos omega t is e raised to j omega t plus e raised to minus j omega t upon 2. So with that you can find all these Laplace transforms. So most important right now, I would like to have that much discussion of Laplace transform only to the extent required. That is what we have got. It is one effective tool to solve differential equations. So V in t is the input, VOT is the output, and HT is the system convolution function. Means for this system, this was e raised to minus t ut. So V in t, VOT. So for any given system, VOT output is convolution of input and transfer function. That is, input is to be taken, transfer function is to be mirror imaged and slide over, and here is to found out, that is by integration from 0 to t, V in t, e raised to minus into bracket t minus u d. So this is the way with which the computation is done. So there is one important property of Laplace transform is that if you are having function 1, this is called as convolution. The output is input function and system function, it's convolution. If you take Laplace transform of all, then Laplace transform of this is equal to Laplace transform of this multiplied by Laplace transform of this. So convolution in time domain is multiplication in Laplace domain. So it is very easy to deal with the systems in Laplace domain. It is very easy to deal with the systems in Laplace domain. So, and to find, there one more property, Laplace transform of derivative, Laplace transform of f dash t is equal to s into Laplace transform of ft. So this is also used very frequently. Laplace transform of derivative is equal to s into Laplace transform of original function. So with all these things, then Laplace transform is invertible. Laplace transform is invertible. So if you know Laplace transform function of s, from that you can find its inverse as function of t. So if we take this system, input and output and ht, then the same is expressed in Laplace domain as Laplace transform of input, Laplace transform of system function and Laplace transform of output. So it is transform domain equation. In this case the equation is VOT is convolution of V in t and ht, whereas in Laplace domain VOS is equal to V in s multiplied with hs. Why it is so convenient? It is convenient because suppose if there is one system, if you make it to pass to another, so what you do is you have one system, then you connect its output to other system, so it is H1t, it is H2t, it is V in t and it is V in t. So what is done is Laplace transform is found out, and total Laplace transform of Hs is directly H1s into H2s. So it is very simple, and because of the derivative property you can find Laplace. We have found I told you to find Hs by simple calculation based logic of impedance of capacitor 1 upon s, impedance of inductor s, impedance of capacitor 1 upon cs, impedance of inductor s ls, and impedance of resistance r. So whatever you compute using impedance r, impedance 1 upon cs and impedance ls, that ratio for e raised to st input is in fact the Laplace domain transfer function. So the ratio of input and output, if e raised to st is the input supplied, is automatically Laplace domain transfer function Hs. So this Laplace domain transfer function is very much useful for various system functions, and why it is so, that I will elaborate with simple examples in the next lecture. So today I try to introduce to Laplace transform. Right now Laplace transform is not in detail for you, you just remember few things which I recap in simple lines. Laplace transform fs of a given function is 0 to infinity ft e raised to minus st dt. For inverse Laplace transform, right now there is a somewhat complex formula called contour integral, but right now we don't go for inverse Laplace transform by formula, but we go by substitution. That is, you can find Laplace transform. So Laplace transform of 1 or Laplace transform of ut is 1 upon s. So inverse Laplace transform 1 upon s is ut. Laplace transform of e raised to at is 1 upon s minus a. So Laplace transform of 1 upon s minus a is e raised to at. Laplace transform of delta t is 1. So inverse Laplace transform of 1 is delta t. So I think this is very simple. So these three would be very much helpful for you. But sine and cosine e raised to t, to be very precise, ut. E raised to t, ut. So what is ut? Ut is a function which is steady. E raised to at is a function which is steady if a is 0, increasing if a is positive, decreasing if a is negative, and delta t is a function which is an impulse. Infinity width, 0 area, product, 0 infinity height, 0 width, product 1. infinity height, 0 width, product 1. So that is called as impulse. There is one impulse response is also there, that I will also explain, but prior to that I will explain in the next lecture how we are able to classify the system upon the transfer function Hs. Based on transfer function Hs, we are able to classify the systems, that is stable systems, unstable systems, etc. That I will elaborate to you in the next lecture. I think for today it is more than enough. We stop here.